Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Of course, today is going to be your next day thoughts. I just have to get the chat up and all that and make sure it's working. But yeah, we're live. We're here to talk about the game. Of course, the 1-1 draw with Sunderland. Yeah, we drew 1-1. Drew 1-1 with Sunderland. If only it doesn't want to appear. But yeah, 1-1 draw with Sunderland. Good performance, in my opinion. I think we did the right thing. We did what we had to do to get the point, which I was happy with. I was happy with the performance. I was happy with everyone's performance. Especially, after the first 20 minutes where I thought we started the first 20 minutes, not great. Then I thought we got into the light just turned off. I thought we got into the game and we were the way better team for most of the game. I'd say they were the better team. Of course, we talked about this, that they were the better team for the first 20 minutes, I would say. I'm still trying to find out if the audio is working. I'm pretty sure it is, but I'll continue talking. But yeah, the first 20 minutes, they were probably the better team. Just let me do this. Yeah, okay, it's working. It's working. But yeah, the first 20 minutes where I thought they were the better team, sorry, and then I thought we got into it, ended up being the better team, and of course, in the end, took the win as we always do. Of course, we go through what Fark had to say after the game, and then I've got a few things to go over, which is like stats. Of course, DC, I'll break in a bunch of stats, players' performances. We'll go and look at some heat maps and see how people played. Congratulations to a couple of give give some praise to a couple of players that deserve it. And yeah, I'm still trying to just make sure everything's right. Okay, we got this up, and we got that up. Okay, we're good. But yeah, Leeds United, of course, played Sunderland, and we'll go through what Fark had to say after the performance and after that 1-1 draw. Daniel Fark firstly had to say, unbeaten run continues, show great mentality until the end to come back another point in the table, improved our situation, difficult away game. No other team has come away with a better result here this season. Good point, which I agree. I agree with that. They're unbeaten at home, which is meaning it's going to be a tougher game. There's people saying we should have won. Maybe with the chances we should have won, you look at it, we could have scored 3 or 4. To be honest, if you look at it, like the Bogle chance, Aronson's off the line. Of course, we scored the goal. There was what was it? Ampadu had a long shot. Tanaka had a shot as well. And you look at those. If one of those go in, we're laughing. We take the 3 points. But at the end of the first half, they had a chance. They had a header that hit the bar, which was a very, and one of those chances that you're like, oh, you got to score that, like it's hit the bar. But yeah, you could say, it's a good point. It is a good point. Any point away, as I've said all season, any point away that you get, is a good point. And yeah, I'm happy with us drawing all of our away games. If we draw most of our away games till the end of the season, I'm happy as long as we pick up the wins at home, which is what we're gonna have to do to stay up. We'll get the one or two wins away from home, but I don't think we'll get many away from home. I think there'll be a lot of draws in there away from home, which is for me what I think we need to do. We need to draw our away games and win our home games, and hopefully we can do that. Daniel Falkland went on to say we waited too much for set piece. We waited too much for set pieces after the praise from for last week's 4 goals. Forgot our DNA to be proactive and take in the game. Did this from minute 30 onwards. Gut feeling was we dominated every stat and should have won this game and being more clinical in the box, which is true. I think we were the better team. As I said, I thought they were the better team for the first 20 minutes. I said, but then from that onwards, I think we were the way better team until probably the last 5 minutes where Sunderland had a bunch of chances where they could have, they started to get all their chances in the final 5 minutes of the game. But before those final 5 minutes and, from the 20th minute onwards until then, I think we were the way better team. We were all over them. We absolutely destroyed them. We were the way better team. You could say probably deserved the win. If any team was going to win it, it probably deserved to be us, like we were the better team. But football's not played on stats and paper, and that happens. And honestly, I'm happy with the point. But yeah, being the better team is always a good thing. Even with a draw, it builds confidence, and hopefully we go on and take that to Anfield in our next game. Fox says with Rodon's injury, of course, Rodon got hit twice. I've seen some people say that there should have been a red card or there should have been 2 yellows or at least a yellow, but both tackles for me are accidents. They're both the trailing leg. It's both both tackles are the trailing leg that hits Rodon. It's both the first leg he wins the ball both times, and it's that second leg that comes in, and for me that's not a card. Maybe it should be a free kick, but the rest not given the free kick, but it shouldn't be a card in my opinion. And I'm fine with the rest decision not to book him just because I think that's unfair because I think he's won the ball. He hasn't meant it. It's not a yellow card for me. Even, I could say that, like, it's not a yellow card for me. But yeah, Rodon's ankle is very swollen. He doubt the defender will be available for any of the games before the FA Cup match against Derby, but he needs further scans. So he needs scans to find out how long he'll actually be out for Rodon, which Rodon's going to be a massive miss, in my opinion. I probably think he's been our best player this season. You know, probably player of the season for Leeds United this season so far. And having him missing in that centre back position, I wonder what we're going to do. Are we going to go to a 2-back like we did? You know, we're going to go back to the 4-back, sorry, like we did in this game, or are we going to bring Bornell in and play Bornell? Bornell not coming on and Tanaka coming on makes it feel like we are going to go back to the 4-back, which I'm fine with as long as we're playing the way we are. Because as I said, it's not the formation that made us play amazing; it's the way we play. And you know, maybe Fark does play Bornell, and I would be fine with that. But even if he doesn't, I'm fine with the 4-back. Because I thought BL, in my opinion, BL's been poor in the 4-back. Like, he's looked slow and all that and sluggish. But in this game, he played the 4-back and looked okay. You also have Ampadu, who maybe out when we do have the ball, we got the possession. And, like, depending on what's happening, you know, maybe out of possession. Sorry, maybe in possession, Ampadu plays like his normal role, but then when we don't have the ball and we're out of possession, he goes back with the defense and we go to a 3-back out of possession. I could see that happening, and then we go to a 4-back in possession. You know, it's one of those things where Ampadu moves back when we don't have the ball. But yeah, Daniel Farke on the team, versatility. It's a testament to the players. You can have ideas to change his position during the game, but all the credit goes to the players. They have to bring it to the match and in front of an excited home crowd. Says a lot about their football intelligence. Yeah, I liked the fact that we have players. You know, I talked about that even early on in the season. You know, when people were hammering Aarons, and I was saying, even if he doesn't start, he's a great bench option to have. He's a great player to have in the squad because he can play centre mid, cam, right wing. He can play a bunch of these positions. And there's a couple of players who can play multiple positions. You look at Ampadu, he can play centre back. You look at Stack, he can play in the 8, he can play in the 6. You know, you look at Okafor, he's not been amazing, but he can play in the front too. He can play on the left side. You know, he can play in multiple positions. You got these players who can play multiple positions. You know, there was times in the season people talk about moving Bogle to a winger. There's an option for that. So yeah, it's good to have players that can play different positions. Strauch, you know, you look at Strauch, and if we had a massive injury crisis and we had to, Strauch can play in the Ampadu role if we had to. You know, if we had to, and we had a very bad injury crisis where that need to happen, which hopefully it doesn't. But Strauch can go play there. You know, we have players who can play different positions, which is good to have in the squad, and I like the fact that we do have that in the squad. And the fact of some games might suit more of having an extra midfielder and having a Tanaka in there like this game did, and we brought on Tanaka. Some other games, Fark might go, I want to bring Bornell on and continue playing with the 3-back because I think we need to be a bit more defensive. You know, that could be the play in some games as well. And that's what Daniel Farke's kind of saying, is the fact of different games are going to be for different players. Bornell will get minutes and will get game time. It's just the fact of Farke probably thought it's better for Tanaka to play than Bornell in this game, which, again, I'm fine with because it's good to have rotation and having different players who can play different positions. So yeah, that's everything Farke had to say in the press conference, which, yeah. Now we go into some stats about some players, and I mean, we've got to start with the main man, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. DC becomes the first Leeds United player to score in 6 consecutive Premier League matches. So great for him. Then we have Leeds United remain unbeaten in the last 5 Premier League matches of a calendar year for the very first time. Again, only good stats. We only have good stats in the last couple of weeks. It's been amazing. This is the first time Leeds remain unbeaten in a final 5 matches of any top flight calendar year since the 91-92 season under Howard Wilkinson. What else do we have? What other stats do we have? Manchester City, Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Leeds remain the only Premier League sides unbeaten in December. And you look at those teams, I think we had the more harder fixtures. If you look at the fixtures that we've had, no one thought we were going to get unbeaten against, what was it? Chelsea. I think the first game in December was Chelsea. So Chelsea, Liverpool, Brentford, Palace, and Sunderland. No one expected us in those 5 games to go unbeaten. And I think that basically, for me, Farke's got to win Manager of the Month. Surely Farke. It's also who we're versing, the caliber of opponent we're versing. Surely Farke wins Manager of the Month. I mean, DCL surely wins Player of the Month as well. So surely we have the Player of the Month and the Manager of the Month because I think it's deserved. So Sunderland versus Leeds, the stats for both teams. The XG goes from 0.65 for Sunderland to 2.03 for Leeds United. So dominated them in the XG stats. you look at the XG of 2 and you're like, yeah, probably the Aronson chance off the line. As I said, the Bogle chance. There was another big chance we had, the Tanaka one. So you're looking at that, and that probably adds up to about 2. The possession was in Leeds United's favour, 57 to 43. Opposition box touches were 42 to 21 in Leeds United's favour. The shots in general were 17 to 8 in Leeds United's favour. On target were 3 to 6 in Sunderland's favour. So Sunderland actually had more shots on target, but way less shots than us. They had 3 extra shots on target, and that's about us not putting the shots on target, the chances that we had. Big chances, they had 1, we had 4. Chances created, they had 8, we had 16. Where is it? Successful passes, they had 312, we had 426. Final third passes, they had 72, we had 88. Then you got the accurate crosses, we had 7, they had 3. And then the duels one, we had 52, they had 46. So yeah, we were the better team when you look at stats and stuff, and probably deserved the win when you watch the game. When you watch the game with your eyes, well, you think we just probably deserved the win out of everyone. Leeds United's equaliser versus Sunderland was just the second goal scored in the Premier League this season, with all 11 players involved in the move. After Rio's goal for Liverpool against Newcastle, if you guys remember that, when Liverpool won in the last minute against Newcastle. So yeah, very good goal that was, the DCL goal. Everyone involved. We had it all on the right side, basically trying to play it around, and then the switch out to the left to get it to Stack. I mean, that ball from Stack to Aronson was absolutely brilliant. The way we did it as well is we had it like we were all there on that right side, and then we switched it out quickly out to the left, and that opened up the space. And they all came over to the left, and that left space for Aronson back on the right again to get that space, get him behind, and then DCL, good movement, bang, finish. Good goal. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is the longest scoring streak. DCL is on the longest scoring streak by an English striker since Jamie Vardy between October and December of 2019, which was 8 games. So yeah, that's very good from DCL. That's another stat. We have to talk about the man, Brendan Aronson. Brendan Aronson's stats versus Sunderland, he had 55 touches, 15 touches in 15 opposition box touches. 15 touches in the opposition box, brilliant. 31 out of 37 successful passes. 5 chances created. He created 5 chances. 2 big chances created and 1 assist. He also created the most chances, 5, most big chances, 2, made the most opposition box touches with 15, and registered an assist. What a performance from Brendan Aronson. You could argue he could have got 3 assists and a goal in this game. The chance with the goal, the flick on for Bogle, which in my opinion is harder to miss than score. It's almost a tap in. He also laid off Tanaka as well, which was an unlucky chance where if he hits the target, I think it goes in the back of the net. Another player who did very well in that midfield role was Anton Stack. I thought he was very good as well. His stats were 89% pass accuracy, 78 touches, 42 out of 47 successful passes. He had 11 passes into the final third, 10 duels won. He had 4 ball recoveries, 4 out of 5 accurate long passes, 3 opposition box touches, 3 chances created, 3 tackles won, 3 shots, 2 block shots, 2 clearances, 2 fouls, and 1 block. So yeah, good performance all around from Anton Stack. And Anton Stack for me was another player you could have gave man of the match. I think it was between Aronson and Stack for me who won man of the match. I think it was Aronson, but I wouldn't be mad if someone said Stack was man of the match. DCL's December stats. So this is the whole of December. He played 438 minutes, 134 touches, conversion rate of 46.2%. His opposition box touches are 31. Aerial duels 118, shots 13, shots on target 8, 6 goals, 5 games. A great December from DCL, and hopefully he can continue that into 2026. And I'm hoping it's not like a purple patch. It's one of those where he'll go back to the norm. I'm hoping not. Like, it's a possibility of it to happen, but I'm hoping not, because he's playing very well right now. Aerially, he's always going to be dominant, even when he's not playing well, but he's got every other bit of his game well. Even the Aronson chance, that was a good play by DCL, a good pass to Aronson. It was a nice little flick that got to Aronson for the chance. He's starting to create as well, which is very nice. He hasn't got an assist, but he's starting to be involved in, creating chances as well, which is what I want to see from him, and hopefully he can continue that. DCL was the first Leeds player to score 6 league goals in the month of December, since Tom Jennings scored 8 goals in December of 1927. So that's a stat. And yeah, you look at that, of course, Brendan Aronson, of course, won the actual man of the match, which fully deserved. Brendan Aronson today was just the second player in the Premier League this season to have 15 touches in the opposition box and created 5 chances in a match, and the first opter has on record since the 2008-2009 season to do that for a newly promoted team. So, I mean, Brendan Aronson, unbelievable. We'll go and look at a few things. I want to come and look at this. It disappeared. Oh, it disappeared. No. Oh, here we go. Wait, no. Give me a minute. I need to get this up for you guys. So we're gonna actually just look at. I want to look at like some of the heat map and some things. Let me just get this up. Shit. I forgot I gotta get it up, don't I? Is it this one? Ah, here it is. All right, here it is. Okay, we got it. So I'm gonna look. We're gonna look at some of this stuff. I actually had it up, but I had to reset my computer because it wouldn't let me go live. So I had to reset it. So I forgot that it's all reset basically. So that should be big enough for you guys to see. I think you guys should be able to see that. That should be good. So yeah, we're gonna look at a few players. Let's just get rid of everyone for a second. I want to look at Aronson first. We're gonna check out Aronson. So these were his shots. He shots, all in the box basically, except for one which was outside the box, which I do not remember. I don't remember that chance. You look at so we'll go to his passes, and this will also show where he is on the pitch. A lot on the right side, as you can see. So he played in this game more of a right wing type role, but he's drifted out to the right, to the left as well. And you look at this, him playing all over the pitch is something that I do want to see from Aronson. And there was the game. What game did he come off the bench in? There was the game he came off the bench in where he was very good. He came off the bench. Oh, what game? What game was that? How do I not remember? How do I not remember what game that was? Anyway, he came off the bench in one of the games, and he was very good. And he got given like this free roam role, basically, and he was very good at it. And what I want to see from Aronson is him doing that more often. Is give him a free roam type role in games, and seeing him on the left and the right is very good. I want to see. I like the fact that he's all over the pitch. You look at this one, even back in defense here, but most of it's on the right because he does play on the right side. Mostly, you look at the dribbles as well from Aronson. We'll get that up as well. He had one dribble. Wait, what? But yeah. Anyway, you look at like. Let's go to. Is there a way we can see like the? But yeah, we'll go back to pass. That's like the only way we can see it. Okay. But yeah, you look at where he is on the pitch. Very good. I like the fact that he's on the left, on the right. He moves around a lot. You look at the passes in the box, in this area and that area. You look at the left and the right side. You look at these moments. I think this one was the goal. I think this one was the goal here because he plays it from here into here. But yeah, good performance all around. I thought he was, as I said, I want to see him get given this role because I think it helps him as a player. I think the free run role kind of helps him as a player. But yeah, Brendan Aronson for me was brilliant. Another player I do want to talk about as well was Anton Stack, who I thought was brilliant as well. You look at him as well. He's all over the pitch. He's on the left side. He's on the right side. It's about switching, in games, and like Aronson and Stack maybe starting to learn this, with each other and starting to have like a connection of like, you go to the left, I'll go to the right, I go to the right, you go to the left. And you look at this from Anton Stack, and he's on both sides of the pitch. He's mostly on mostly here on the left is in this place is where he normally wants to be. But he's also drifted out to the right and been a bunch on the right as well. Also through the middle, looking for that space through the middle, which is what you want to see from Anton Stack. I think did he have a shot in this game? He had three shots in this game. Two of them outside the box here and here, and then the one inside the box, which I generally don't remember any of them. But yeah, I thought he was very good. I thought his performance was very good. If there's someone else we want to look at, let's look at DCL. So DCL, of course, had one shot in this game, which was the finish, which was the goal. You look at his passes. Let's look at his passes. Sorry, boys. Let's look at his passes. Where is he? DCL. So you look at his passes. He drops deep. He's dropped deep. Like, actually, no, these are mostly. The thing is that these are mostly. You probably look at these, and these are the ones that are like in this area. Probably mostly, goal kicks that have been booted up. I think most of them are like header flick on passes where the ball's been launched long and he's tried to flick it on. That's most of his passes. He doesn't really get involved in the game as much when he, on the ball, which is not what we need from our striker, in this formation and the way we play. We don't need that from DCL. We just need him in the right areas to put the ball in the back of the net, get in dangerous area for chances. We don't need him to get a lot of touches and to be on the ball a lot. But yeah, this is what we need from him really is just, we got touches here actually. We'll look at his touches. Here, you look at his touches here. A lot of it are coming on the right side, actually. Like, of course, you got the ones that are... Well, that's Aronson. Let's look at DCLs. Sorry. You look at DCLs, yeah, look at his touches. They're all around, like, the here, which is For me, I think it's mostly flick on headers in this area where, like, we boot it long. But yeah, performance wise, I think he was good, and I think that's what he needed to be used for. We use him for his aerial dominance, his dominance in there. Oh, they do have a heat map. Oh, that's just team heat map. Actually, no, you can do it. Okay, let's look at heat map then. Let's go back and look at some heat maps. So we'll look at DCL, who, you look at that 20 touches, mostly in this area, which, as I said, most of them come from flick-ons and stuff. Good getting in, that's the position for the goal, of course. Let's go back and look at Aronson's heat map. So Aronson's heat map mostly right here. This is the danger area Aronson has been getting into. Of course, this is the area where he got the assist as well. And this is where he is most of the time, which is this area where he got the assist, which is the area you want him to be in on the right side. You even look a little bit here, like it's a bit darker over here, showing that he's been in this position a lot as well. So mostly on the right side. You look at players also. Let's look at Anton Stark, as you see most of it in the corner flag on the right side, which is him taking corners. I just remember you're probably him taking corners. But as you see, the other one is the left side right here, which is an area that he likes to operate in when he is on that left side, which is most of the game. You look at, like, let's look at Okafor. Okafor in this game did play on the left wing. He moved out to the left wing in this game because Okafor, in my opinion, played better on the left. I don't think he was amazing in this game, but I thought on the left wing in this game, he was okay. He looks dangerous. Like, when he gets the ball, he looks dangerous. Like, go for it. His end product just wasn't there today. Like, his passing just wasn't good. It's that final pass he just couldn't get right, or the final thing, he always seemed to get it wrong. But, like, danger-wise, he caused them a lot of trouble when he does get the ball and, like, runs at them. He does cause a lot of trouble. He just couldn't get that final ball. Like, he just could not get that final moment correct, right. A player like Ampadu, again, I thought Ampadu was brilliant as well. As you see, most of his heat maps in that DM position. Good for him. Good performance from him. I thought it was really good. There was that moment where he sprinted forward, right? He ran in and there was a chance for him. But yeah, I thought performance-wise, he was very good. You look at your fullbacks, you look at Bogle and where's Goodmanson here? You look at Bogle and Goodmanson. Of course, that's Bogle on the right side, Goodmanson on the left side. Goodmanson seems to love this area in this game. But yeah, good performance from both of them. And that's just the heat maps. I thought I would look at them and just see how we've done with our heat maps and just seen a couple of stats and where we've played our passes and where, like, they've been on the pitch. But yeah, I thought I'd just show you guys that. But again, back on the performance, very good performance. I thought we were really good. I thought everyone it's one of those performances where everyone, I think, was good. Like, you had a lot of good performance, and then you had, like, the top performers, which were, which, in my opinion, were your Stack, your Aronson, who I thought were very, very, very good in this game. We end the year strong with a draw. In my opinion, it's still a very good result, a draw against a team who haven't lost at home all season. You look at the performances. We'll go through a couple of other players' stats and look at their performances. BL was another player who I thought, again, played well going into a back two. I thought he was fine in that position. I don't think he's been good in the back two when he has played this season, but maybe with confidence you'll see a better BL in a back two. Of course, we'll look at him, 4 defensive contributions. He had 1 interception and 3 clearances, 4 recoveries. He won 3 out of 4 aerial duels. He gave away 1 foul. His pass accuracy was 91% with 62 out of 68. 20 out of 25 passes in the opposition half with 80%. Long passes in own half, 42 out of 43, 98%. Long balls were accurate, 3 out of 3, 100%. 75 touches, lost the ball 6 times. Had 2 shots on target. Both of them were on target. I thought they were both headers from corners. I thought BL played well. I thought his performance was good. I thought, he wasn't the best player, but he had one of those he was one of those performers that you're like, yeah, he played well, like, good performance from him. Yeah, I was liking the performance from, like, a BL. Rodon, I thought was, good until he had to go off. I thought Strauch as well. I thought Strauch was good as well. I thought his performance was good. 5 defensive contributions with 1 interception and 4 clearances. He had 5 recoveries. He won 6 out of his 7 aerial duels. So, again, winning all of his aerial duels, basically. 2 key passes, 72 out of 78 accurate passes with 92%. 18 out of 23 passes in opposition half with 78%. Passes in own half, 54 out of 55, 98%. 3 out of 5 long balls, 60%. 83 touches, 6 times lost the ball. But, like, performance-wise, again, I thought Strauch was good as well. It seemed like in the first half, they tried to get it BL side, and then it wasn't working. So the second half, they tried to get it Strauch side, and then it didn't work again because I thought both centre-backs played very well this game. I thought they were good performers. I've seen some people talk about Perry and talk about how he's probably, people saying, should he have saved the shot? For me, it's just a very good goal. I don't think you can blame him for the Adingra goal. I don't think you can say that Perry should have saved it. It's just a very good finish. Maybe you can say, like, I think that's very harsh if you say, oh, we should have saved it, because it's a very good shot. It's a very good shot that goes into the, into the back of the net. It's bent into the corner. I'm not going to blame Perry for that at all. You got Rodon, who at the time was injured and hobbling around, who is the one that keeps him on side. So it's annoying because if Rodon wasn't on the pitch, they probably don't score because they're probably offside, because Rodon's not on the pitch and he's not hobbling, and he's more, whoever is on the pitch reacts quicker. They react quicker. But the thing is with Rodon, after the first challenge, right? After the first challenge, the first hit, people were like, oh, he should have been brought off then. But then he looked fine. Like, he was hobbling a little bit for like 5 minutes, but then he looked good again. Like, he looked fine, and then it happened again. And that's when it happened. That's when the injury happened, when it happened again. But yeah, he did go down, and like, he was hobbling around for like 5 minutes. But then after that, he was fine. It was like, oh, he's back. He's fine. He's walking around good. He's moving. He's running. And then he just gets hit again, and that's what causes the injury. I mean, people talk about, oh, he should have been brought off. But if that second hit never comes in, no one's saying anything about it, because he probably doesn't, he doesn't get injured, in my opinion. I think the second one kind of does it. Stack as well. There was a moment near the end of the game where Stack was hobbling around. Stack looked like he was struggling, and I was like, oh god, Stack looks like he's struggling here, like he's hobbling around. He looks a bit like, oh, but it's one of those things that you keep them on because they're gonna hobble around for like a little bit, but then they'll be good after, and that's what happened. That is what happened with Rodon, but it's unlucky they got hit again. But that's the unfortunate thing. He got hit again. And it's one of those things about going into the next game. What are we going to see? Does Tanaka start, or do we continue with the three at the back and start Bornau? Does Lucas Mecha come in for Okafor? Because Lucas Mecha, I've seen people talk about his performance. I don't think you can talk about a performance when a player's coming back from injury. And the goal when you're coming back from injury is just get minutes back in your legs. And I think that's what he was brought on for. I think he did okay when he came on. Of course, the best thing Lucas Mecha is, Lucas Mecha, in my opinion, is very good on the ball. And that's going to take some time to get back into it, coming back from an injury. So hopefully he can get that soon. Maybe he starts in the next game. I don't know if he starts, just because I don't know if he's 100% yet to play, 70, 80 minutes. But I wouldn't mind him starting if he does, because I think he's better in that front two than Okafor. You look at the positions. Do you have then Okafor on the bench, and you have another option on the bench that can be an impact later on in games? Like, you look at our bench right now, and you look at the impacts that we can have. You got players like Gruev who can come on the pitch if we need to hold out a lead. You got Bornau who can also come on the pitch if we have to hold out a lead. You got players like James Justin, who I think is a good defensive player, who can come on if we need to hold out a lead. We got Nonto, who can be impact off the bench. You got Lucas Mecha, who can be an impact off the bench or a starter. You got Tanaka, who came on and can be an impact off the bench or a starter. You look at the starting 11, you got Okafor, who can be a massive impact off the bench. You got Aronson, who can be an impact or a starter, but right now you can't drop him. You got Stack, who has been amazing in the last couple of games, and since we've changed formation, I think has been probably one of the better players, if not the best player. Maybe alongside DCL and Aronson. You got Ampadu, as I said, who will always start games, in my opinion, unless there's a little knock, and then you start a Gruev. Vogel and Goodmanson both being impressive for me. Goodmanson, very good signing. I'm happy with the signing, and I've spoken about Goodmanson as a player that he just has moments where he switches off, but overall, very good player. Jaden Bogle, I mean, we got told he can't play in the Premier League. I mean, we got told he can't play in the Championship. We got told not good enough for the Championship, but he's been amazing. You got your back three and then your goalkeeper. And I'm liking the team that we have. I like the team we have, and the fact that we have impact off the bench. A couple of signings in January I think we will need. I think we're going to need another centre-back, with Rodon also being injured. I think that basically boosts centre-back as like the key priority of bringing another backup option, because if Bornau does come in and then we pick up and Bornau gets injured, or a Strauch or BL gets injured as well, then you're down to nobody. So we do probably need a centre-back. You look at the midfield, and that's probably the position right now. I know people have been screaming out for a 10 and saying we should sign a 10 in January, but I think the midfield, we've got enough. I just think with Stack, Ampadu, Aronson, Tanaka, I think we've got enough. Maybe you bring in one more midfielder, but then I want, maybe we do bring in another like midfielder as well. But I just feel like we got enough in midfield. I think we do need another striker as well. I'd bring in another striker, and I might bring in another fullback as cover. But I don't know. I think I like I like our backup cover at fullbacks. You know, I like Byram. I like James Justin. Maybe maybe Byram needs to be another backup, like third backup option basically, and bring in another fullback. I could see, even though I think Byram's a decent footballer who can do a job in the Premier League. I think we need an upgrade to that as well. I think he deserved these contract extension to play in the Premier League. I know he hasn't played, but I think he'll get minutes at some point this season. But it is that thing about January, you know, it's coming around. We're gonna start getting these BS rumors, so don't believe everything you see. Um, but yeah, I do think centre back is kind of number one priority right now, just because the injury on Rodon as well. I think that boosted it up. So I would say a centre back and a striker, maybe a midfielder. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you do like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next one, which will be there'll be a video coming out in like what time is it? It's 10:30 right now. There'll be a video coming out in the next 4 or 5 hours, something like that, of my Premier League prediction. So I've done that, I've uploaded that, and that'll be out today. So go watch that after this, or if you're watching this later, go watch this. Go watch that. I think it's like 5 hours from now, something like that. But yeah, that'll be out today basically. So go watch that when it comes out. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you all in the next.